Before the world ended, the hot springs wasn't a refuge. It was a luxury resort and spa, made around naturally occurring hot springs and marketed as a place of rest. Beneath it all sits a dormant volcano, with layers of volcanic rock packed tightly beneath the surface, a detail that shouldn't matter in the old world but becomes critical in the new one. After the outbreak, the hot springs are still standing, not because it adapts, but because it imposes order. The camp is run by Ada Tucker, a former prison warden, specifically the matron of a women's penitentiary, and she doesn't see survivors as victims. She sees them as inmates. In Tucker's eyes, anyone ruthless enough to still be breathing is freakier than the freaks. So the camp operates under martial law and forced labor.
Cause that's who we are, the freak show. Only folks survived were those mean enough, nasty enough to out-freak the freaks. The rest are here, hoping I feed them, protect them, keep them nice and cozy and warm, so they can sit on their asses and watch the world end. You, get your ass back to work. Don't make me go get Cyrus.
When Deacon visits, we see guards openly beating survivors, accusing them of laziness and forcing them back to work. We also overhear conversations about food shortages, missing people, and shrinking supplies. Some of those whispers suggest Tucker isn't entirely wrong. There are desperate, immoral people in the camp, but others tell a quieter story. People who aren't lazy, just exhausted, starving, and breaking down. So obviously, this leads to people trying to escape, and those who try may be hunted down by Alki, the head of security, or quietly have bounties put on them. The hot springs may look safe, but that safety is built on fear, desperation, and a system barely holding itself together. And with us facing slow-moving Walking Dead-style zombies, the question isn't whether the hot springs can stop the dead from wandering in. The real question is whether the living can last here at all. Before leadership, morale, or ideology ever enter the picture, this camp has some real legitimate location-based advantages, especially against slow, predictable walkers. First up on the pro, as always, is shelter. The hot springs have 3 standing cabins, providing immediate, weather-resistant shelter. Besides the cabins, part of the camp has a ton of trees, which offers natural shade and cover. Very ideal for tents, sleeping bags, and overflow housing without the need for construction. For short-term survival, exposure won't be a major concern for the time being. The camp is also surrounded by 2 rivers, one at the front and one at the back, effectively wrapping the hot springs in a continuous freshwater source. Yes, it still needs to be strained and boiled, but it's available at all times. The front river also provides fish, offering an immediate renewable source of food, at least for now. In a slow zombie apocalypse, water is more valuable than weapons, and the hot springs has it.
Love clean clothes. Like for 1 minute, not everything smells like shit.
Didn't get the blood stains out of this one. Poor son of a bitch.
I hate fish. Well, I did. It was the only protein around.
Yeah, better than starving, right?
This may be a surprise, but the next pro is space. The hot springs is almost perfectly sized. There's enough room for survivors to sleep, room to set up workstations or any future development projects you may want to take on. But it's not so large that the perimeter can't be secured. It's great for those who want to keep a tight circle and for those with a safety in numbers mentality. This is a very rare balance and one of the greatest features this camp has. When you're up against slow-moving infected and humans, the camp's defenses perform good as well. It's in a rocky terrain that makes it hard for walkers to move through. Not to mention the surrounding area is open with clear sight lines. You would see any bandits or slow-moving hordes coming your way before it's too late. The camp has a basic but strong perimeter made of boulders and wood fencing with barbed wire. Also, the back of the camp is directly up against a mountain, so no back door for anyone to slip in. I mean, the only way someone could get in through here is if they had climbing equipment. Show of hands, how many of you watching actually know how to use said equipment? From a purely defensive standpoint, the hot springs is very controllable. Now we get to the problems. There's only one con that I could think of, but it's one huge con, and that is its lack of long-term food supply. Yes, the Front River does offer fish, but fishing can't last forever. Their populations decline very fast, and a diet of nothing but fish leads to malnutrition and sickness. Well, you said this place is big, we can just garden. That would be the solution, but it's not. The fact is, because the hot springs are sitting on a dormant volcano, the topsoil is very thin. There is solid volcanic rock underneath, which makes it difficult to plant much without a ton of hard labor, big tools, and imported soil. So no crops, no livestock, no sustainable calories. And in the sense of an apocalypse, starvation kills faster than zombies.
I keep telling you, everywhere you look, it's all one giant lava field. 25 feet solid rock. It'll take jackhammers to...
I don't need a lecture, goddammit. I get it.
No, you don't. But these people are hungry, even if they had all their strength. It'll take them months to finish this job with picks and shovels.
I don't give a shit! We're all hungry, Al. But this job's gotta get done whether it takes all goddamn year.
It doesn't matter how strong the perimeter is if people inside get too weak to live. It doesn't matter how many guards are stationed along it if those are the same people who are wasting away. Against slow, shambling infected, the hot springs can absolutely hold its ground. Against time, it can't. In the end, the hot springs encampment is not a long-term solution. It's somewhere to stop and catch your breath. A place that keeps people alive just long enough to believe they might survive before quietly proving otherwise. Its defenses work, the water is there, and the order remains for a while. But without sustainable food, none of that matters. For long-term survival, the hot springs does not pass. At its heart, the hot springs is one of the most deadly illusions found in any zombie apocalypse. The idea that order turns into survival. It has the water, the shelter, and even has a security system powerful enough to keep the slow-moving dead at bay. It looks good on paper, and for a little while, this is good enough to convince others they found a home. But sustaining life isn't calculated in days or weeks. It's determined by a community's ability to feed their people the next day, the next month, and into the next year. The hot springs are not sustainable. Its land fails at sustaining life, and its system fails at inspiring it. All that's left is a camp that holds on to bodies while systemically breaking spirits. Against the zombies and bandits, the hot springs remain, but against hunger, time, and nature, it falls apart, and that is what determines its fate. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Do you think I was too harsh on the hot springs? Let me know in the comments. As always, keep watching the dark, because it's definitely watching you.
Hey, just don't let them catch you.